For the nation's capital, Monrovia, good morning and welcome to King's Newsroom, a 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest afterward. Today is Thursday, January 8th, 2026. I am Newton Tokwa presenting stories we're following this morning. Sino County District 2 Representative Samson Weah accuses deployed AFL personnel at the Sapo National Park of discharging firearms in Jeribo, Sino County, calls on authority of the Armed Forces of Liberia to launch an investigation into the alleged shooting incident. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, announces its readiness to host the inaugural Liberia European Union Business Forum in Belgium. Foreign Minister Sarah Besloyanti says the forum will feature high-level policy discussions and structured networking opportunities. Citizens Movement for Change political leader and Nimba County District 7 Representative Musa Belete criticizes the legislature for its decision to repass President Bouakar's veto-put reform bill, argues that the action falls short of the principles of intergovernmental collaboration and responsible lawmaking. Away from Liberia, a plot to kill Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has been thwarted, the West African nation has announced. These plus the news bulletin, our international developments, and all package. We are taking a very short break. I'll be right back. Thanks for rejoining in. Let's now have the news bulletin. Sino County Electoral District 2 Representative Samson Weah has called on the authority of the Armed Forces of Liberia to immediately investigate all alleged shooting incident and reported acts of intimidation by deployed AFL personnel at the Sapo National Park in Jeribo, Sino County. Speaking to journalists on Wednesday at the Capitol building, Representative Weah said he received reports of serious security incident in which AFL personnel allegedly occupied parts of the towns and villages, discharged live ammunition, causing widespread panic among residents and forcing many to flee into the nearby bushes for safety. According to the lawmaker, the AFL deployment to the area was originally intended to remove illegal miners from protected forest zones and to curb illegal mining activities within and around the Sapo National Park. However, Representative Weah alleged that subsequent reports indicated that some AFL personnel abandoned their assigned posts and remained within civilian communities, contrary to the scope of their deployment, and further stated that formal complaints were submitted to senior AFL authorities regarding the situation, but alleged that the officers involved continued to hide outside their mandate at Sapo National Park. The lawmaker also claimed that some of the deployed AFL personnel entered the community under the influence of alcohol and attempted to interfere with traditional practices. According to him, when traditional authorities instructed residents to remain indoors in observance of customary protocols, the AFL personnel allegedly resisted the directive and later opened fire, reportedly discharging dozens of rounds across the town. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has announced its readiness to host the inaugural Liberia European Union Business Forum in Brussels, Belgium. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the forum is scheduled to begin on February 24th, 2026, and will be held under the theme that Arts in the IRS Invest in Liberia 2026. The disclosure was made on Wednesday by Liberia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Madam Sarah Besloyanti, in collaboration with the European Union Ambassador to Liberia, Nona the Press. They disclosed that the forum is being organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the National Investment Commission, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, along with other key government institutions. The official noted that the event forms part of Liberia's broader economic diplomacy and investment promotion strategy aimed at attracting foreign direct investment and strengthening international partnerships. They further explained that the forum will highlight investment opportunities aligned with the core pillars of the Unity Party-led government's RS agenda, including agriculture, roads and infrastructure, trade, tourism, and sanitation. The diplomats added that the forum will also feature high-level policy discussions, sector-specific sections, and structured networking opportunities designed to enhance trade relations, attract sustainable investment, and accelerate Liberia's development agenda in line with the economic partnership agreements and broader EU-Africa cooperation frameworks. The Liberia-European Union Business Forum is thus expected to bring together investors, entrepreneurs, policymakers, development partners, and members of the Liberian diaspora community. Citizen Movement for Change political leader and Nimba County District 7 representative Mosability has criticized the national legislature for its decision to repass President Joseph Boakar's vetoed port reform bill. President Boakar recently vetoed the bill, citing the need for greater clarity, among other concerns. The proposed legislation seeks to establish an independent Liberia Sea and Inland Post Regulatory Authority and to grant autonomous status to seaports across the country. Critics argue that the legislature decision to override the bill has heightened constitutional and political tensions surrounding the control structure and future direction of Liberia's maritime governance system. Speaking Wednesday on OKFM, Representative Ability described the legislature action as a total embarrassment to Liberia's governance framework. He maintained that the legislature conduct over the years has contributed to serious challenges for Liberian people, including economic hardship and poor governance. Ability further argued that the Senate should have addressed the concerns raised in the veto by providing clearer explanations and revision before moving to repass the bill. He said the action falls short of the principles of intergovernmental collaboration and responsible lawmaking. In the related development, the Nima County District 5 representative denied any involvement in an alleged plan by members of the House of Representatives to remove Speaker Richard Cohn, and also cautioned his colleagues against allowing personal ambitions and fractional politics to overshadow their national responsibilities, warning that persistent internal conflicts undermine the legislature's ability to effectively serve the Liberian people. Aggrieved citizens of Obobong Electoral District, including traditional leaders, elders, youth groups, women organizations, and temporary National Elections Commission staffers, have issued a one-week ultimatum demanding a recall of Alfred Tukpa as senior elections magistrate of Obobong. The ultimatum was contained in a formal petition presented on Wednesday to Broom County Superintendent Lolia Hawa Norris, calling on the NEC to immediately reverse Tukpa's appointment and replace him with what they described as qualified, experienced son of the county. The citizen alleged that although the NEC initially advertised the position between August 7 and August 15, 2025, the process lacked transparency and fairness. They claimed the vacancy was posted only on a bulletin board at NEC headquarters rather than the Commission's official website, alleging limited access to qualified applicants from Broom County. The petitioner further contended that several experienced electoral workers from Upper Broom, some with more than 14 years of service across the electoral districts, applied for the position but were not shortlisted for interviews. They argued the process was deliberate, that is to structure and exclude local candidates. Tukpa was appointed in September 2025 by NEC Chairperson David Brown Lassanan with the backing of senior NEC officials. However, the citizen described the appointment as controversial, alleging that it was neither participatory nor transparent. They also raised allegations regarding Tukpa's past conduct, claiming he faced resistance in previous assignments in Grand Jide and Nima counties over alleged unethical behavior. The petition states that such allegations cast serious doubts over his suitability to manage future elections, including the 2029 polls. Among other concerns, the citizen said Tukpa has no prior work experience in Upper Bong, does not speak the Dominic Pele language, and is unfamiliar with the town's clans and villages that's in the electoral districts of the area. A strong supporter of the Congress for Democratic Change based in Minnesota, United States of America, has contributed 1,000 United States dollars toward the construction of the party's proposed new national headquarters in Congo Town. The donation was made earlier today, that's yesterday, when the chairman of the CDC construction team, Councillor J. Fonatikofa, received the amount from Heliton Tule as an initial payment toward a $10,000 pledge. The pledge was made following the demolition of the CDC former headquarters by the Unity Party-led government. Mr. Tudet, who recently traveled from the United States to Liberia, said his contribution was meant to fulfill his promise to the party after what he described as illegal demolition of the CDC former headquarters in Congo Town. He condemned the demolition, describing it as heartbreaking and politically motivated, adding that such actions could set a dangerous precedent for other political parties in the country. Meanwhile, the US-based Liberian described his contribution as goodwill gesture with no sentiment attached, stating that as a humanitarian and patriot, it is important to give back to country and people. The Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency Bunk Detachment has arrested 5 individuals in connections to alleged trafficking of drugs in Bong County. Addressing journalists of the area at the LDA headquarters in Banga, Commander Thomas Say explained that the 5 alleged drug suspects were arrested after an early morning LDA patrol around the famous Methode Kampala base. According to Commander C, the suspects were gathering other notorious drug suspects to rebuild their hideout after the festive seasons. He noted that these suspects will be charged and turned over to the 9th Judicial Circuit Court for further investigations. In another development, the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency has suspended 2 of its officers for publicly assaulting a female who claimed is a drug suspect. On Tuesday, social media platforms were seen with a video of LDA officers identified as Solomon Bondo and Faith Willie assaulting the female suspect. However, in a press statement issued hours after the incident, the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency condemns their action, describing it as unacceptable in a direct violation of the agency's code of conduct, which directly prohibits assault, abuse, and inhumane treatment for any person. The LDA statement noted that the officers involved have been immediately disrobed and turned over to the Board of Internal Inquiry and Professional Standards for Investigation and Appropriate Disciplinary Action. However, the LDA distances itself from what it termed as misconduct and warns all officers against abusing the authority entrusted to them to serve and protect the public. And Grand Bassa County District 2 Representative Clarence Benz has accused former authorities of his district of massive corruption during the administration of former President George Weah. Addressing journalists Tuesday, Representative Banks noted that upon taking office in 2024, he invited the General Auditing Commission, GAC, to conduct a survey in District 2, which he said uncovered serious financial mismanagement by district authorities. According to him, information gathered revealed that funds provided by companies for development projects in District 2 during the Weah-led government were misused and failed to translate into meaningful development for the people. The Grand Bassa County lawmaker, however, praised the Access Recovery Committee for honoring his request and compelling the affected local authorities to restitute the mismanaged funds, stressing that no amount of money is too small when it is not used for its intended purpose. Representative Banks said the move is aimed at promoting transparency, accountability, and genuine development in Grand Bassa County. What if you just joining us? A reminder you're listening to King's News Run at 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest afterward. Stories we're following this morning. Sino County District 2 Representative Samson Weird accuses deployed AFL personnel at the Sapo National Park of discharging firearms in Jedibo, Sino County, calls on authority of the Armed Forces of Liberia to launch an investigation into the alleged shooting incident. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, announces its readiness to host the inaugural Liberia European Union Business Forum in Belgium. Foreign Minister Sarah Besloyanti says the forum will feature high-level policy discussions and structures that's networking opportunities. Citizen Movement for Change political leader and Nimba County District 7 representative Musa Belated criticizes the legislature for its decision to repass President Joseph Waka's veto port reform bill, argues that the action falls short of the principles of intergovernmental collaboration and responsible lawmaking. And away from Liberia, a plot to kill Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has been thwarted, the West African nation has announced. These are stories we're following here this morning on King's Newsroom. We are taking a very short break and we'll come back to bring you the voices of the newsmakers. Thanks for rejoining. On this development now, Sino County Electoral District 2 Representative Samson Weir has called on the authority of the Armed Forces of Liberia to immediately investigate an alleged shooting incident and reported acts of intimidation by deployed AFL personnel at the Sapo National Park in Jedibo, Sino County. Speaking to journalists on Wednesday at the Capitol building, Representative Weir disclosed that he received reports of serious security incident in which AFL personnel allegedly occupied parts of towns and villages, discharged live ammunition, causing widespread panic among residents and forcing many to flee into nearby bushes. According to the lawmaker, the AFL deployment to the area was originally intended to remove illegal miners from protected forest zones and to curb illegal mining activities within and around Sapo National Park.
We took a decision to have AFL personnel deployed in the park. If you look at our park covers a very vast land, and then the very circumference of that park form a parameter that is referred to as the buffer. So when they were deployed, they were asked to go with a mandate of ensuring that illicit miners are put out of the park and ensure that poachers, meaning people who were in the park going after animals, were not invading the park. And that was the mandate, that was the mission. They have deserted their posts, they are no more after miners, and you have them lingering all around the communities, something that is also sad for the country. Amen. But there's the most recent episode. During the festive season, our tradition people gathered in a town called Nyinamaleken, and the exercise started around Saturday to Sunday, and then Monday evening, which was the 25th, by 7 p.m. The guys deserted their posts, received information that they entered those towns in alcohol. They have gone in there to go after the people wives, to look for women in those communities. And the tradition was already in charge of the town. When they hit the ground, the traditional people decided finding a place for them to be, so that they could not interfere with those ongoing traditional practices that were already in motion. And to our greater surprise, as part of the traditional action that requested that all women and no member remain indoor and holding constant that the AFL already placed in the area where they should just be. When that pronouncement and announcement was made by the traditional messenger, the AFL resisted that girls and women shouldn't go indoor. The AFL started going after our traditional people, and they loosened up into huge firing. And to our greater surprise, as the calls kept coming, even people who were calling, we could not get the voices because over 80 men had loosened up into shooting all around the town, going after our Zoos, our Bodios, our traditional leaders, and even apprehending some of them, beating on them. And the situation got so devastating. The entire town got terrorized as many people fled the town to the bushes.
His Sino County Electoral District 2 Representative Samson Weir here speaking. Citizen Movement for Change political leader and Nima County District 7 Representative Musa Belete has criticized the national legislature for its decision to repass President Joseph Boakar's veto port reform bill. President Boakar recently vetoed the bill, citing the need for greater clarity, among other concerns. The proposed legislation seeks to establish an independent Liberia Sea and Inland Ports Regulatory Authority and to grant autonomous status to seaports across the country. Critics argued that the legislature decision to override the bill has heightened constitutional and political tensions surrounding the control, structure, and future direction of Liberia's maritime governance system.
It's clear to me that our system, you need a president that will change the way things are done in this country.
You agree with Liberians who believe that our problem is there at the legislature?
What you call, I agree with that. I'm the proponent of that. Unless you have a legislature that does its work, we have a problem. They are the problem. It's a joke. Look at what is happening. Look at what is happening. How can you have just common sense? The president of the Republic of Liberia vetoes a bill with lines to say, I need more clarity on this. I need more clarity on it. Hey, my brother. You go send that bill with no explanation, with no answer to the president question. What happened is an embarrassment. Our whole speaker Richard Kuhn and the prime minister's deputy speaker or Thomas Fala.
Why are you calling Fala prime minister?
Because he's the one running the show.
You think so?
Yes.
No, he's not more powerful.
Let them just give us their opinion on the cause, the ramification of doing what we want to do. You say you want to make the thing smaller, then you create a body, you give it more power than the NPA. I mean, what is this, man? You say that you want to you want to reduce and localize the thing, but in your act, you create even more bureaucracy and take power from maritime all the people and give it to this so-called board now that he's setting up. So we need to look at that. We need to take an expert view. I am a lawmaker. Bring the document. They didn't bring it to us. They didn't, even the president, I demanded for the president letter so that I could have done my analysis based on it. They never give it to us. Giving us president letter, these days are war. I don't know what the thing that will do with the president. The president is the president of the Republic of Liberia. When he writes the house, he read it in the play that hey, we can't get it. On in cover time, when the president write the read it, he will put it in the chat room. So we all can take it and analyze it. Nah, it's not happening. And I'm just using this airway to beg Richard Nagbe Kuhn and Thomas Fala to please allow sanity to reign in our house. We want sanity.
In a related development, the Nimba County District 5 lawmaker denied any involvement in an alleged plan by members of the House of Representatives to remove Speaker Richard Kuhn. and also cautioned his colleagues against allowing personal ambitions and fractional politics to overshadow their national responsibilities, warning that persistent internal conflicts undermines the legislature's ability to effectively serve the Liberian people.
The Unity Party has installed their own speaker. I have absolutely nothing to the removal. Man, allow me to finish, man. They've installed their own speaker. He is the speaker now. I have absolutely no desire to remove him. I've never participated in anything that has to do with removing him. And I can say this for our rule of law caucus. Our position has been, this is now our speaker. If there's an issue with he and his people, it's none of our business. They should resolve it. We have played no part and intend to play no part. Them. They are having meeting, but also secondly, they are not serious. At the end of the day, in my mind, I think they have some internal disagreement in the rescue block, the so-called majority.
Oh, you mean
block.
it is the majority black doing their thing?
Yeah, they're just scaring each other. We don't have anything to do with it. We have no intention. Removing a speaker bring more disruption in the government than anything. Going about it the same way that they are going about the hour against yesterday, and now to become part of that today, that would be the same thing they can do. One sound resolution,
okay.
One move the speaker, but it's not. Look,
have they brought any resolution to you?
Nobody can bring any resolution to me. I'm not going to sign any resolution. I am not going to be involved.
He's the Citizens Movement for Change political leader and Limba District 7 representative Musa Hassan Belite. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has announced its readiness to host the inaugural Liberia European Union Business Forum in Brussels, Belgium. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the forum is scheduled to begin on February 24th, 2026, and will be held under the theme, the As in the Iris Invest in Liberia 2026. The disclosure was made on Wednesday by Liberia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Madam Sarah Beslow Yanti, in collaboration with the European Union Ambassador to Liberia, Nona De Press. They disclosed that the forum is being organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the National Investment Commission, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, along with other key government institutions.
It is my great pleasure to announce the first ever Liberia EU Business Forum, jointly organized by the Government of Liberia and the European Union under the Global Gateway Initiative.
The forum will take place on the 24th and 25th of February 2026 in Brussels, bringing together Liberian and European policymakers, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The theme, the Arts in the Arrest Agenda, focuses on agriculture, roads, and infrastructure, tourism, and sanitation. These are key pillars of Liberia's Arrest Agenda for inclusive development, a national framework for sustainable development, progress, and shared prosperity.
These priorities resonate strongly with the EU's Global Gateway, which seeks to foster smart, clean, and secure investments in infrastructure, connecting people and economies for long-term impact and inclusive, sustainable development.
The forum will showcase Liberia's readiness for economic transformation by promoting agriculture as a driver for food security and industrial growth,
by highlighting infrastructure development as a catalyst for trade and investment,
and by unlocking the vast potential of tourism and hospitality as engines for job creation and cultural exchange. So, we invite you to join us this February in Brussels to engage with Liberia's leaders, entrepreneurs, and investors,
and to connect with European partners ready to build a bridge of opportunity between our two regions. See you in Brussels.
See you in Brussels.
Liberia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sarah Beslow Yanti, and European Union Ambassador to Liberia, Nona De Press. Aggrieved citizens of Upper Bong electoral districts, including traditional leaders, elders, youth groups, women organizations, and temporary National Elections Commission staffers, have issued a one-week ultimatum demanding the recall of Alfred Tukpa as senior elections magistrate of Upper Bong. The ultimatum was contained in a formal petition presented on Wednesday to Brown County Superintendent Lolia Howard Norris, calling on the NEC to immediately reverse Tokpa's appointment and replace him with what they described as a qualified and experienced son or daughter of the county. The citizen alleged that although the NEC internally advertised the position between August 7 and August 15, 2025, that the process lacked transparency and fairness. They claimed that the vacancy was posted only on a bulletin board at NEC headquarters rather than the Commission's official website, alleging limited access to qualified applicants from Brown County. The petitioner further contend that several experienced electoral workers from Upper Brown, some with more than 14 years of service across all electoral districts, applied for the position but were not shortlisted for interviews. They argued the process was deliberately structured to exclude local candidates.
Countless efforts have been made in engaging authorities of NEP with a written communication address on our NEP chairperson dated October 10, 2025 was received by Cherry Roberts. The letter was received by Cherry Roberts, the receptionist on duty, asking NEP to recall Alfred Debbie Tokpa and reconsider appointing a qualified and experienced son from Upper Brown County. To Honorable Lolia Howard Norris, Superintendent of Brown County, Anthony Senator Flomo Wena, Brown County Anthony, Honorable Prince Kamu Senior, Chair Brown County Legislative Caucus, Mr. George Philip Mobile CSO Chairperson, Brown County Chapter, Honorable Ure Chair, Brown County Chiefs and Elders Council, Mr. Nathan Matthew Jr., PUL Head, Brown County Chapter, and etc. Alfred's appointment has met serious resistance by citizens of Upper Brown based on his indecent, immoral conduct. Mr. Alfred Debbie Tokpa allegedly received money from some politicians in Grand Judah County during his stay as election magistrate to change results in their favor, which sparked out huge tension, where he was chased out of the county. He was recalled and later sent to Nima County again and rejected by the citizens based on his immoral conduct, including several others, which some are mentioned in our accounts. Therefore, the citizens of Upper Brown have unanimously agreed in principles that we cannot and will not work with Alfred W. Tokpa, and therefore he must be recalled. And Madam Director Brother Sana, next year probably should reconsider appointing a qualified and experienced son from the South based on the Southern County.
Some aggrieved citizens of Upper Bank electoral districts calling for the recall of Alfred Tokpa as elections magistrate